Hi. So, I want to talk more about gender equality, right? Because I've covered a lot about this topic, and it's just, I feel it's just getting worse and worse. One of the first videos I made was about Wonder Woman and is her breasts too big, or should she have one breast? It's in my archives anyway, and the sort of nonsense that came with what Wonder Woman should look like and who should, and all this for feminism and all that sort of stuff, which feminists are really they're just bad people, seriously. I mean, they may have good intentions and stuff like that, but we're living in a world now that is so political correct, and everybody has to watch what they say. Now, I'm not saying go out there and offend people. If you're going out there and saying something that might, put somebody in a bad light, if you're going out there and put something, so be it, whatever. What I'm trying to say is, comedy is dying, okay? Comedy is so dying because we're too conscious of what we're saying might hurt somebody. And to be honest, we've got to the stage now where we can't say anything because just about anything can hurt somebody. We have Britain and maybe some other countries in the world have got a history of making the fun out of us, out of ourselves. With pantomime, we dress up, men become women in pantomime and vice versa. And when comedians talk about the opposite sex, they also, in that sort of sketch, put themselves down and make themselves the butt of the joke, which is good. But now, and then you talk about gay and transgender or anything like that, or even disability, right? You've got disability people making fun of themselves and being disabled and stuff like that. Now, these sort of jokes aren't for everyone. If you find it offensive, then you don't like the comedian and stuff like that. But this is a comedian, and he's trying to make light of a subject that is serious. And we really do have to laugh about ourselves. Whether we are gay, transgender, disabled, blind or deaf, we need to see the funny side of life. Right now, in schools, they're talking about how boys now can, and I didn't catch the whole of this, but they are, I don't know if they're transgender, but boys should be having periods as well, if they somehow have that in school, because they could somehow have, now I take it from that, maybe it's the emotional status once a month, I'm not too sure. Basically, no. Okay, that's going too far. And now we have a word on Scrabble called she, right? ZHE, and because that then represents he and a she and everything else. We're getting rid of gingerbread men because it's sexist and everything else. There are so many things changing on just to be this political correctness, right? It is unreal. And now, how's it affecting us? What's this got to do with DC? Well, it's got everything to do with DC and TV programs in general. As you know, say the Doctor Who, for instance, and I've said this before, the Doctor Who has lost all its figures, viewing rates, because it's trying to be educational and trying to preach the thing. We're living in a society now where we all know what's cool and what isn't cool to say. We're living in a society where a lot of women are earning more money than the men, and a lot of men are staying at home and cooking dinners and doing breakfasts and everything else, right? We know the score just now. I go home, I tidy the house, I do the dishes, and I cook dinner, right? Gone are the days when something is considered to be a man's job, right? That's the one. But we don't need it on the telly showing us what we were like 40 years ago, or whatever, or what we should be like today. We don't need a preaching thing, right? Also, when it comes to, say, telling jokes, it seems to be okay for women to take the piss out of men, but not the other way around, because that would be sexist. We have things in Star Wars where the woman has to be the hero, but even though the woman's been the hero, like Rey or something like that, I've seen YouTube videos with feminists coming out and saying most of the women in these Star Wars films aren't strong characters, and this was coming from a feminist. Most women don't want this equal agenda thing, right? There's no equal to it. It's now balancing. It's now off balance. Where now men are underfoot, and that's not what women want. Women want, to be treated an equal right, not higher and not lower. So how do we cope with that? We cope by just getting on with things the way we used to, right? And I don't mean the way 20 years ago, but still making jokes about the opposite sex or people of different race or colour, because we're not all perfect. And now we have my biggest gripe. We have Supergirl, and now in order to make Supergirl look fantastic, Superman has to say lines like, I'm really pathetic, I'm not used, you're the better hero, you're the lion, I'm with Lois Lane, I'm a wee bit of a dweeb, I'll get my ass kicked. That is demoralising Superman. And it was featured in Elseworlds, and it was featured in the last few seasons, where Supergirl now has become the inspiration for a legion of heroes, where it was Superman. And again, with the women, with the Ghostbusters and everything else, I don't mind you having an equal shot, but don't put down the opposite to lift you guys up. Well, we have the Teen Titans now, and Batman is going bad, and Teen Titans has got to fix him young and everything else, and so on the TV you're demoralising these heroes that are meant to be an inspiration for men. You're demoralising them. Now, there's no wonder the suicide rate for men are going up, because we seem to be getting trodden on even more. So it's like we're making up for what happened in the last 100 years when women didn't have a say. It's like going back to that. I'm not saying we're at that level, but this is why there are so many programs just now where somehow the government feels justified that we have to have certain characters and programs. We have to portray every single person, somebody with a disabled, somebody with this, somebody. It's okay, but we don't need it. We don't need it in a way that it jeopardises storytelling. We had Wonder Woman that came out, Captain Marvel's coming out, with Black Panther, all that's for the black people and stuff. I get all that sort of stuff, but it shouldn't be made a big issue, right? I don't look at a black man and say that's a black man. I'll look at that person as a human being, and I look at a girl as an equal. What I mean by when I see a black person as a human being, I see a black person as just a normal, same as me person, equal status. Right? I don't see him as a black man. I see him just as another human being like myself, right? That's the way I see things. We don't need to have a program that emphasises that stuff. The more we make issues of things, the more those issues will stay here. And that is what's tearing our that is, forget about Greenpeace, right? Greenpeace and the world environment. This could be the number one killer for men. And it's not that the worm has turned, so to speak, but it's the fact that we're all being squashed into this ball, and we cannot be who we are because we don't know that anymore. We don't know who we are because we're not allowed to say things or act things and stuff like that. You talk about religion. There's saw videos on YouTube about Christians wanting to speak, but then if they speak right next door to the Muslims, and like, who's to fault? Why can't they all speak together? Why is there a barrier up? Why can't we not just accept everybody for who they are, but at the same time make fun of ourselves and our friends and take it as a joke? Right? We should make fun of all religious icons. We should make fun of the white man, the black man, the disabled man, the gay man, because life is shit. And we don't need to, some people will be homophobic, but these people that are homophobic will treat people that are gay with respect. Right? We're not all out to hurt each other or mentally abuse somebody because of the way they act, but you are allowed to maybe think them and keep them down. But then when it comes to jokes, you just make sure that it comes across, it comes across right. That is not, that you don't do it on a constant basis, because when you do something on a constant basis and tell the same joke, then that can be offensive. But if you say everything with a wee smile and not take it serious and everything else, if we cannot be ourselves, then we are living in a prison. If we cannot just accept that the world has, it's just, how can I go on? I just feel now we are getting forced to live a life that we need to be forced into. It should become to us on a gradually. And right now it's like TV and everything else and political correctness is ushering us forward too fast, and that we are forgetting how to just laugh at ourselves and at other people and not take offence of it too much. Don't be offended if somebody calls you a swear word. Right? That's just, that's what we teach our children. Water off a duck's back. I'm not saying it's correct to offend anybody, but let's make light of the situation like I used to do. If somebody called me names, I would make light of it. If I was to watch a comedian and he made jokes about certain people, I would like him to maybe include me in it as well. But let's stop all this putting down the opposite sex. Let's stop putting men down. Let's stop elevating the other. Let's all be equilibrium, but with a sense of humour at the same time. Let these people have a wee bit of laugh, and then they'll come back down to this level. Let these people take piss out of that people up here, but then come back down. That's all we need to do. We don't need to stay there. We can be here, 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 here. That is the way we should do it. Thank you.